Hello, in this Coolgrad video we're going to talk about studying in Duke University, North Carolina. Duke University is a very top-notch, highly ranked university, very popular, and it's usually like ranked in the top 10 in various disciplines. And it's a very beautiful campus located in the Raleigh-Durham area in North Carolina. So, where is Duke University located? So first of all, this is a map of the United States. And North Carolina is over here, the reds that you see. NC is the initial for North Carolina. And then it's located in the eastern part of USA, in the East Coast. And then North Carolina, this is a bigger map, so it shows the neighboring states. So it's bordered by Virginia in the north and South Carolina in the south. And there's also Georgia in the south. And there's Tennessee in the west. And the Atlantic Ocean on the east. So some of the top cities in North Carolina include Raleigh, and very close to that is Durham, and close to that is Chapel Hill. So between Raleigh and Durham, it's just about half an hour to 1 hour drive. And then from Durham to Chapel Hill is just another 25-30 miles, about less than half an hour. So these are all very close by over here. And there's Charlotte over here, slightly further down south. So there's the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. So remember, the University of North Carolina is a system of universities. And they're all affiliated to the University of North Carolina's public university system. And under that, each of these is an individual university. So there's University of North Carolina Chapel Hill, University of North Carolina Charlotte. Each is a separate university, but they all are governed by this system. And but then there's the other system called the State University system. So there's the North Carolina State University in Raleigh. And then there's private universities. So Duke University is a private university. But remember, it's not one of the Ivy League universities. A lot of people don't understand that Ivy League universities are only 8 universities, which are all mostly located in the northeastern part of the United States. They are a league of universities which collaborate in athletics and academics and a lot of other features. So some of the universities Princeton and Brown University and Yale and University of Pennsylvania, they're all part of the Ivy League universities. But Duke University is not an Ivy League university, but it's still one of the most prestigious private universities of the United States. And it's also kind of expensive compared to the public university systems. Usually, as a general guideline, private universities are significantly more expensive than public universities, and public universities are usually way more expensive than state universities. So it's something to keep in mind. And some of these state universities are also quite prestigious, and they have very good job prospects, even though their tuition is low. So you might want to consider applying to state universities if finances are a concern for you. So now this is a big map of an enlarged map of North Carolina. So Raleigh is the capital. You see the one with the star here, and there's Durham slightly on top. There's Winston-Salem over here, and there's Charlotte a little bit south here, and there's Fayetteville, there's Pinehurst, there's Wilmington, there's Jacksonville. There are so many cities over here. So there's Kitty Hawk over there, which is somehow associated with space flight centers. And on top of this we have Atlanta. It's the state of Georgia. So if you're driving from Raleigh to Atlanta, it would probably take you about 5 or 6 hours. It's usually one straight road, and it would take you about 6 hours. I remember there was Atlanta is down south. So Georgia is on the south. So, there's South Carolina, and below that is Georgia, Atlanta. So there was a time when I was working in Atlanta for a while, and from Atlanta I drove up 6 hours to Raleigh. I had an uncle who was living in Raleigh, and then from Raleigh I drove up 6 hours to Maryland, and from there 5 hours to New York. So that was a long drive. So North Carolina is just about 5 hours south of Washington D.C. So and Atlanta is to the south. So let's talk about the weather of North Carolina. So the average daily maximum is usually below 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius in most locations. It can get slightly hot in summers. Summers can get quite hot actually. And average about 45 inches of rain a year, 50 in the mountains. So they do get quite a bit of rain. It's usually nice and green. It's not as crowded or, you know, congested or, you know, like a concrete jungle. You know, it's not like New York, it's not like you know, San Jose or San Francisco, but it's like a smaller city. But there are a lot of jobs in the Research Triangle Park. There are companies like Cisco and Alcatel-Lucent and, you know, so many other companies there. And the city is kind of nice and green, and it's kind of warm and crispy. You know, usually it doesn't snow except for like a couple of days a year. And it's kind of pleasant weather, a lot of greenery and flowers. It's a really nice place to live in. And there are a lot of lakes, you know, natural and artificial man-made lakes in, you know, the Raleigh, Durham area. So I remember my uncle used to live in Raleigh, and this particular apartment was called the Cumberland Cove Apartments, and they had this really nice lake, artificial lake, which was about like 3 miles in circumference, and all these and every single day, like, you know, especially in the summers and when it was not like really cold in the winters, we would like walk around the lake. It was really nice with all the trees, and there are a lot of turtles and geese and ducks and swans and, you know, all these nice birds, and it was really nice. And you could, you know, a lot of people, like most of the apartments, they have these artificial lakes, and the cost of living is not very high. And in winters, you know, like you might get a little bit of snow only for like a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days, or for a week in a year. And on the days when they do get snow, there's like ice all over on the sidewalks and the streets, and, you know, you can't see the ice, and the government is not equipped to salt the roads. So in those days you have to be very careful. You have to you know, get special chains on your tires of your car, or you better, like, you know, take public transport or something. And if you're driving, there's a chance you're going to skid and, you know, cause accidents and traffic jams. So you have to be very careful on those few days that it does snow or have you know, like ice on the streets. So that's something you need to keep in mind. So July storms account for much of this precipitation. So there's a lot of rain usually in July, August. As much as 15% of the rainfall during the warm season in the Carolinas can be attributed to tropical cyclones. So it's not a place that's really affected by cyclones as much as, like, you know, Alabama or Louisiana in the south. But my point is, it's a nice place to live in. It's not like very close to the beach. You'll have to drive at least a few hours to get to the beach. So in the winters, it's like you don't need gloves or, you know, winter coats or snow boots or anything. You can usually manage with like a pullover or a sweater or something. It's not like, you know, really cold like in Boston or Michigan. You can manage. Coastal plain averages around 1 inch of snow or ice annually, so but it's still manageable. The state is not well equipped for salting the roads, so you have to watch out for that. We already talked about this. So this is a map of the average temperature in North Carolina, and it ranges anywhere from about, like, you know, 50 Fahrenheit all the way up to 90 Fahrenheit, and the lowest would be, you know, like below 30 Fahrenheit, which is like, you know, sub-zero, you know, if you think about it. So sub-zero Celsius, so you can expect a little bit of snow and ice and stuff. So the quick facts, some quick facts about North Carolina. The University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill is the oldest state university in the United States. In 1903, the Wright brothers made the first successful powered flight by man at Kill Devil Hill near Kitty Hawk. So we all know about Wilbur and Orville Wright. The Wright brothers, they were credited for inventing the flying machine, you know, the first airplane. So they took their first flight in Kitty Hawk in North Carolina, and they landed on the sand over there. So the Wright Memorial at Kitty Hawks now commemorates their achievement. High Point is known as the furniture capital of the world. There's another place in North Carolina. Whitewater Falls in Transylvania County is the highest waterfall in the eastern United States. Krispy Kreme Donut was founded in Winston-Salem. Top cities in North Carolina: Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, and Chapel Hill. These are some of the top cities. So now we're going to talk about Durham, where Duke University is located. So size approximately 108 square miles. Population about 250,000 as of the year 2016. Interesting facts. Durham is a city in the US state of North Carolina, is the county seat of Durham County. So counties are like huge administrative divisions of every state. And one county can have multiple cities in it. So Durham City is also located in Durham County. Okay, so there are so many other cities in the Durham County, but Durham City is the county seat of Durham County. Though portions also extend into Wake County in the east and Orange County in the west. It's the home of Duke University and North Carolina Central University. It's also one of the vertices of Research Triangle area, home of the Research Triangle Park. So Research Triangle Park is the triangular region between Raleigh, Durham and Chapel Hill. So it's like, this region is called the Research Triangle Park, where there are a lot of companies and jobs, and there's like a huge area with a lot of offices and stuff. It will be directly across from Durham's current tallest building, but once completed will be the new tallest building in downtown Durham and the fourth largest building in the triangle. So there are a lot of companies over there which provide employment and go for campus recruitment to these universities. So you can look up all the companies in the Research Triangle Park, and remember that not all these companies are doing very well. Like some companies had mergers and layoffs and things like that, but now they're picking up. You know, you have to look at whether they're currently recruiting, you know. So some of the top universities in North Carolina. So we have Duke University, Durham, University of North Carolina, Charlotte, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, North Carolina State University, Raleigh, Tier 2 Universities of North Carolina. We have University of North Carolina, Asheville, and University of North Carolina, Greensboro, University of North Carolina, Pembroke, University of North Carolina, Wilmington, Wake Forest University, Winston-Salem State University. So these are some of the Tier 2 universities. Duke University. So this is the logo of Duke University, and this is a picture of the campus. It's a really, really beautiful building. And let's talk about the brief history of Duke University. Duke University is a private research university located in Durham, North Carolina, founded by Methodists and Quakers in the present-day town of Trinity in 1838. The school moved to Durham in 1892. In 1924, tobacco and electric power industrialist James Buchanan Duke established Duke University, at which time this institution changed its name to honor his deceased father, Washington Duke. So remember that it was founded by some kind of a tobacco and electric power industrialist whose name was Duke. So although its origins are somehow linked to tobacco industry, Duke is like a non-smoking campus. So it was founded in 1924. So it's like almost a century old. So this is the Duke University. There's all these really famous, beautiful buildings. A lot of greenery and trees and flowers. Really, really beautiful campus. And really huge. So the university campus spans over 8,600 acres, or 35 square kilometers. It's almost as big as, in fact, bigger than Stanford University campus in California. So it's a really huge campus. It's not like something you can cover the entire campus on foot. You'd probably need a car to cover the entire campus. On 3 contiguous campuses in Durham, as well as a marine lab in Beaufort. Duke's main campus, designed largely by architect Julian Abel, incorporates Gothic architecture with its 210-foot, 64-meter Duke Chapel at the campus's center and highest point of elevation. So, the department rankings. So, the business school is ranked like top 12 in the US. So, understand that these rankings vary from system to system. So, like US News has different rankings, Princeton Review has different rankings, and these rankings keep varying every year. So, but this is an indicator of, an approximate, you get an approximate idea of what the ranking of these departments are. They don't like vary drastically year after year. So it gives you an idea of what these rankings are. So the business school is called the Fuqua Business School, the MBA program, ranked like top 12 in the US. Sometimes it might be ranked like within the top 5, sometimes, but it's usually within the top 15. Electrical engineering, top 27 approximately. Computer science, top 29 in US. Mechanical engineering, top 29 in the US. Chemical engineering, it says less than 100, but I'm a little skeptical about that. Please cross-check, but it's also quite highly ranked. So, civil engineering, again, top 27. Medical school, top 8. So the Duke Medical School is like really, really famous and very competitive to get into. Law school is again top 11 in the US. So this is the picture of the Duke University Business School, the Fuqua Business School. So ranked top 12 for MBA in the US. Acceptance rate about 25%. Average GMAT score about 700. It's still lower than the average GMAT scores of Wharton or Stanford University, which is more than like 730 usually. So average undergraduate GPA 3.4. Program duration 21 months. Annual tuition about $60,000. So for an MBA you would be looking to spend about $120,000 easily. Average starting salary about $111,000. And it's called the Fuqua School of Business. Duke University Computer Science Department. So this is a picture of the Computer Science Department. Really beautiful building, nice campus. So ranked 29 for computer science in the US. Acceptance rate about 21%. Average GRE score about 163. Average undergraduate GPA 3.6. Program duration 21 months or 2 years. Annual tuition about $43,000. Average starting salary for computer science master's graduate about $109,000. And Duke University Electrical Engineering. So this is a picture of the electrical engineering department. So ranked top 27 for electrical engineering in US. Acceptance rate is 21%. Average GRE score is 163. Average undergraduate GPA is 3.6. Program duration is about 2 years long. Annual tuition about $44,000. Average starting salary about $68,000. And it's the electrical engineering master's program, very highly ranked, quite popular. But the business school and medical school are probably more popular. So this is the mechanical engineering department, and then there is the. So it's ranked top 29 in the US. Acceptance rate 21.5%. Average GRE score is about 163. Average undergraduate GPA 3.8. Program duration 2 years. Annual tuition about $43,500 as of 2016. Average starting salary about $72,500. And that's the mechanical engineering department. So this is a picture of the chemical engineering department. And this is a picture of the civil engineering department. So the civil engineering is again ranked top 27 in the US. It's a very popular destination and very competitive. Acceptance rate about 21.5%. Average GRE score 163. Average undergraduate GPA 3.6. And then program duration about 2 years long. Annual tuition about $43,500. Average starting salary about $57,000. So this is a picture of the medical school. So it's really, really prestigious and very highly renowned. So ranked top 8 for medical school MD in the US. And acceptance rate about 3.6%. So that's really competitive. So the lower the acceptance rate, usually the more prestigious and competitive it is. So if 100 people apply, only about like say 3 or 4 get accepted. So average MCAT score 36. Really, really high score. Average undergraduate GPA 3.8. Program duration 2 years. Annual tuition $53,000. Starting salary about $126,000. So this is a picture of the law school. The law school building is here. Top 11 for JD in the US. Acceptance rate 23%. Average LSAT score about 169. Average undergraduate GPA 3.7 on a scale of 4. Program duration is about 3 years. Annual tuition $57,000. Average starting salary $110,000. Some famous alumni of Duke University include David Addington, Chief of Staff to former Vice President Dick Cheney, Claude Allen, White House Domestic Policy Advisor, Tommy Sowers, Assistant Secretary of the Public and Intergovernmental Affairs, Jeff Williams, CEO of Apple, Rex Adams, Chairman of the Public Broadcasting Service, PBS, former VP of Mobile Corporation, Howard Lerman, founder and CEO of Yext. Indian restaurants near Duke. So there's Sitar Indian Cuisine, Dale's Indian Cuisine, Tandoor Indian Restaurant, Spice and Curry, Raga Restaurant and Lounge, Tandoor Indian Restaurant. So there are quite a few Indian restaurants in the Raleigh-Durham area, though not as much as like in, not as many as in California Bay Area, for example. So if like in San Jose Bay Area, you'll see Indian restaurants all over the place. It's certainly not comparable to that, but there are quite a few Indian restaurants. So the Research Triangle Park. Duke University anchors one of the points of the Research Triangle, a geographic region inscribed by North Carolina State University, Duke University, and UNC Chapel Hill. So, in the 1950s, Research Triangle Park was home to many high-tech companies and enterprises, and today it still holds the highest concentration of PhDs in the nation. So, you'll find a lot of top-notch companies there. Duke University, no code rushing. So, although Duke students all know not to rush the code unless the win is a national championship, because other wins are a given, they do get to celebrate a win over rival UNC another way. So, Duke University and the University of North Carolina, it's like they have the rivalry over a lot of sports. And when Duke wins, all the students gather on the main quadrangle and burn the campus benches in a huge bonfire. These are officially sanctioned by the school and the Durham Fire Department with permits acquired ahead of time. So it's not like something illegal and it's nothing for you to be afraid of. So if Duke was won as sporting event, so there's a huge bonfire where they burn all the campus benches and there's huge celebrations in the quadrangle. So there's the chapel weddings. So there's this chapel in Duke University which is like a really popular place, especially for weddings of students who met at Duke University. So if they met at Duke University, they'd probably want to get married in the chapel in Duke University. It's kind of, even if they're alumni, I mean, it's kind of nostalgic and it has like a sentimental value. So Duke's iconic chapel is the perfect setting for a wedding for couples who met at Duke, and probably even for others. But there's so much demand for this chapel. But because weddings can be booked only 1 year in advance of the wedding month, and sign-ups begin at 8:30 a.m. on the first business day of the month, couples looking to book a specific date in a popular month have had to recreate Duke's tenting tradition and set up camp outside the chapel the night before to be first in line when the chapel doors open. So the registration starts at 8:30 on a particular morning on the first business day of the month, and people camp there, in tents the previous night, so just so they are first in line and they're able to book the chapel. So, so you can book like only 1 year in advance, and I think it's on the first business day of every month that the booking happens. So people wait to book this chapel for their weddings. It's a very popular thing in Duke. So there's this Duke Lemur Center. It's a place for a zoo with all these lemurs and a preservation center. Established in 1966, the Lemur Center is the world's largest sanctuary for rare and endangered Procenian primates. Sprawled across 85 acres in Duke Forest, it houses 15 species of lemurs, lorises from India, Southeast Asia, and bush babies from Africa. There are all kinds of monkeys over there. It's like a preservation center. So, so Duke University, the invisibility cloak. So basically, humans have always had a fascination with, becoming invisible and stuff. Scientists at Duke University created the first invisibility cloak in November 2012 that could perfectly hide a centimeter-scale object. So it's not like, a person puts it on and becomes invisible, but it's only for 1 centimeter objects. So basically they designed, some kind of a cover for it, and it's like it reflects light in such a way that the object inside becomes invisible. So people won't be able to see it, even though it's there. So the tobacco-free campus. Remember that although the founder of Duke University was a tobacco baron, it's a non-smoking campus, and most buildings, they don't even let you smoke within 10 feet of residential buildings or dining facilities, and it's completely banned on the campus of the medical center. So remember, if you're going to Duke, you better not smoke on campus, where most of the places it's like banned. There's only like probably a few spots where you can go and smoke. So there's the basketball thing. Duke University basketball coach Mike Krzyzewski, it's pronounced Krzyzewski, is the winningest male college basketball coach in history with 976 career wins as of February 2014. So under Krzyzewski, Duke has won 4 NCAA championships. It's tied for 5th all-time in NCAA wins. So for students who are trying to get into Duke through like sports scholarships and who want to pursue like a career in basketball, Duke is like really famous. And for international students, unless you already have a national medal or like an Olympic medal or something, your chances of getting a sports scholarship are probably minimal. But just so you know, it's very famous for its basketball team and the coach. This brings us to the end of this video about studying in Duke University, and I hope you found this useful. Thank you.